and gentlemen, this is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister, and this is your 8 o'clock report. And for the first 10 minutes, we'll be in Black Belt's kitchen, and you know, we'll be cooking up something sweet for the righteous, something sour for the corrupt. And ladies and gentlemen, after the 10 minutes, the other 20 minutes, we'll move on to the beach. Oh, we'll be going out to the beach. The beach is right outside the kitchen. We'll be going to the beach. And there we will go into Black Belt's sandbox. But let me just say so now to let you know, there will be anything and everything but sand flying around in that sandbox. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Black Belt The Voice. As you know, I'm Gorman Bannister. I am Gorman Bannister, and this is our 8 o'clock report. And tonight, of course, you know, we're at Black Belt's Kitchen and Black Belt's Kitchen. I think we're going to be serving up a full course cut-ass for those who deal in corruption. It's going to be full course tonight. Going to be full course. Those of you who come to dine with us because you dine in righteousness, all you got to do is sit back, relax, and watch it as it gets served up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to set a scenario for you. Initially, I want to say this to you. Prior to September of last year, there was a Ministry of Financial Services, there was a Ministry of Trade and Industry, there was a Department of Immigration, and there was a Ministry of Investments. All had as a minister Comfy Joe Nigger Rich Brent, the barbarian. He was in charge of all four. Then, ladies and gentlemen, out of the clear blue sky, without having any warning or known about it, there came a thing called the Commercial Enterprise Bill. It was never part of the F&M Manifesto nor their plank. It just appeared as this was something that they were putting in place. Now, the reality of that being put in place all started when the F&M government took over on May 10, 2017. Right away, every weekend, Brent Simonet, Minister of Immigration, Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister of Financial Services, Minister of Investment would go down to Linden Pendleton International Airport every weekend and usher in some clients, bypassing the process of immigration. I mean, he would be there, not sitting in the office and telling them who they want. He'd be there by the booth, and when they come, he'd just tell them, come this way. In front of all the other tourists, all the returning residents. This was every weekend. Saturdays and Sundays, every weekend. It got to the point where the immigration officers made it clear that they would do a work stoppage and a sit-out if he continued to do it. So, of course, being the Comfy Joe Nigger bitch that Brent is, and the barbarian, he then figured out it's easier just to put a bill in place where he ain't got to go to the airport. And that is how the Commercial Enterprise Bill, also known as the Criminal Enterprise Bill, or known as the Brent Bill, came into play. Then came the $5 billion project in East Grand Bahama called OBAD. No one knows how ministers got to the table to watch the false signing of Peter Krieger, signing of Satpal Dunner's name. Then you had Satpal Dunner down in Freeport holding meetings with another shyster named Peter. I forgot Peter's last name. Black belt with F&M is a shyster. They were holding town meetings on the OBAD project. He was telling, this guy was telling the persons in Grand Bahama what about that. His talks with the government, he never said who he spoke to. He never reached Nassau. Never. Then all of a sudden, we started hearing that Brent Conky Joe nigger bitch barbarian only had 3 ministries. He only had trade industry, he only had financial services, and he only had immigration. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the question is where did the Ministry of Investments go? And where did the Minister of Investments go? Minister of it. Then you couldn't find any place where there was any such thing, any document, any office for the Minister of Investments. Nor could you find where the Ministry of Investments. Therefore, you never asked, no one was asking who negotiated these deals. And in what office can we have statistics to show who is coming in here for $250,000? Who are they bringing with them? What kind of business are they setting up? Where can we go to find out what services this commercial enterprise bill? Something never came up. Then it started being asked, at least by me, where did it go? Why was it that even people were acting like it no longer existed, or that they never knew it existed? Why? I know it existed. I searched every search engine in the World Wide Web, and wherever Brent's name came up, only came to 3 ministries. You couldn't find it in any newspapers. Every information about it was wiped clean about the Ministry of Investments. Ladies and gentlemen, that borders on treason. If not, certainly a black operation of espionage. So, ladies and gentlemen, after that, all of that, so I said, well, wait a minute. I remember around the same time of this this commercial enterprise bill, and the OBAN was going hot and heavy and furious, I remember that Minnis went to Haiti and introduced Brent Simonette as his Minister of Investment. I remember that. So I went to search. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the audio. I have the visual. I have been putting up the video, but this is the audio to the time where Minnis talked about his Minister of Investment. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You heard him say, this is one of my most senior ministers, Brent Simonette. He's the Minister of Investment and Immigration. So when you see we don't have any investments, blame him. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So that is where the Ministry of Investment and the minister went. He didn't go anywhere other than underground like most criminals do. And ladies and gentlemen, within the framework of this disappearing investment is where all of the corruption is taking place. There is where Brent, the Hollow West goes, make all their corrupt deals, keep all these people coming in at $250,000 who works for them. This is where the Grand Larceny Hotel in Freeport, that's where that comes in. Anything where investment is belongs to Brent and the Hollow West goes. You've heard it yourself. Now from here, you need to go ahead and ask them straight up, who is the Minister of Investments? Where is the Ministry of Investments? What all is housed in the Ministry of Investments? Who is the permanent secretary for the Ministry of Investments? And in there will lie many of answers, like one being why Minnis didn't know who Peter Krieger was, nor whose name It was done in the Ministry of Investment's office by the Minister of Investment, Brent Simmons, and his permanent secretary. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to put that to you. That's something to work on because it's a key point. Because it explains exactly why you cannot find out anything. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have switched it up a little bit. You heard the promo. The promo said that we would be doing 10 minutes of Black Belt's Kitchen, and then we go out to the beach. It's a Black Belt Sandbox. We're going to switch it up. That's why I don't do pictures at 8 o'clock, because I don't want the wicked to have a chance to either decide to commit suicide as preferred to what we are attempting to do, eradicate their corruption from out of our lives. Yeah, so tonight we're going to have a full meal tonight. We are going to have a full meal tonight in Black Belt's Kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start off with a little appetizer. Of course, you know this is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. I'm trying to get you in and out by 8 o'clock. I don't know if that'll happen, but in any event, you'll know that it shall be here and available. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is October the 4th, 2018, and that means that it is Thursday. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with an appetizer. Now, what are we to think about this new BPL board? Plus, it's returning nigger monitor for Ron Bethel. Oh yeah, he's the monitor for niggers now. That's no question about that. What do you think about it? Is this board going to be problematic? Or just a dutiful puppet show? Certainly, the way that Lion Desmond talked to them during their introduction, you remember that a couple weeks ago? The way Lion Desmond talked to them during their introduction as the board is what's dramatic, if not just for show, to make it seem like Lion Desmond was in charge. Isn't that how it seems? But who is really in charge of the new BPL board? Certainly, it isn't the so-called the chairman, Donovan Moxley. Why should he want to be bothered? He's trying to stay in the government loop to sell his products in any government agency. So, he's checking for his products, and ministers don't mind. And guess why ministers don't mind? Because Moxley's only window dressing to begin with. And guess why? Because it is Stephen Holowesko who is the real chairman of BPL. And do you believe that he'll be taking orders from Lion Desmond? The only orders that Holowesko would be taking is those to pass on to BPL to pay, and they better pay him quickly too. Otherwise, why would any six-toe Holowesko want to join a board that's supposed to serve others instead of serving self? Just ain't gonna happen. Not with them six toes. Not with them Holoweskos. The six-toes Holoweskos. Let me ask you another question. So it seems that once one hole is closed up, another one opens. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this about a Haitian taxi ring around town taking over all of the major taxi spots? No, they're not hackers now. Don't get it mistaken. They are actually taxi drivers with the same taxi credentials as Bahamians. But guess what? The problem is they haven't been to Bahama Host, nor would be able to attend because they don't speak a lick of English. So how did they become a prevailing entity of the taxi business without Bahama Host or without speaking English? But that isn't all. Did you know that they jump ahead of others to get taxi fares and don't even know how to greet the guests or know where they want to go with the guests because of their non-English speaking situation and not having an overall and general knowledge of national destinations? And they're doing this at the Atlantis. How did they get organized from hacker status of operating in the dark to upfront and bold at Atlantis? Do you think the transport minister will look into this? The Bahamian taxi drivers have reported this over and over, but felt they had no one to complain to because of the former transport minister, Frankie Campbell. Now, maybe that's where Wells should start his investigation. That's if he's really serious, true. Would you agree to that? Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the second dish of the appetizer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your second dish of your appetizer. It is the 8 o'clock news, and we are in Black Belt's kitchen. Black Belt, the voice. I am Gorman Bannister. And it seems as though, notwithstanding that I always say Black Belt, the voice, I am Gorman Bannister. It seems as though when people want to say things, they don't know the correct situation. Now, of course, yesterday, I dealt with the fact that Peter Turnquist in the House Assembly mentioned Black Belt Press. And he also mentioned Ghetto News Network. And he also mentioned Eyewitness News. Well, the thrust of what he had to say was about, not Eyewitness News, Behind the Headlines, which comes on after the news on Channel 224. And he trivialized it to the point that it obviously bothered Clint Watson. Before I came on the air tonight, Clint Watson went through a whole litany of persons who has been on the show where he was taking offense to Peter Turnquist trivializing the name of the show, the host of the show, which was him, and trivializing the persons that was on the show. And he did his whole list of persons, and he even ended up by saying that Minnis did an interview while they were in New York, and it would be airing soon. And all of this he did to make it seem, well, he said he was offended by what Peter Turnquist said. Now, I understand that, because when you're offended, then you have to use your best avenues to defend or not. Now, see, so when he mentioned Black Belt Press and all that kind of stuff, I understood where that was coming from. That's coming from a fact that I've been pounding him about being hooked up. I mean, just from being dumb, period. I've been pounding him about being hooked up with Michelle Dorsett, the supposedly union leader in Commonwealth Union down in Allied Services in Freeport. Him and Dion folks being in that, right? And the fact that the union, Michelle Dorsett, is ripping them off, and Peter Turnquist is giving us certificates of financial good status to do so. So as a result of that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, let's face it, he's playing a part of this extortion. The union doesn't have an award of recognition. The union doesn't have an industrial agreement. They didn't have with the previous owner, right? When Robert Farquharson attempted to strike them off the list, which would have saved the union members from getting any more of their money ripped off, Dion folks stepped in, gave him a good certificate of good standing, and then Peter Turnquist came on the back of it and gave a good financial certificate. But she hadn't done any financial audits for 3 years. That's Peter Turnquist. So I can understand maybe Clint Watson being offended by this guy, but this guy is really no one to be offended by. Now, as a result of what he had to say, and put my half name in it, because he didn't put, I ended up talking about the fact that there's a grand jury hearing going on in Albany, in northern New York State, okay, in which he is a major figure. He started out as a only person of interest. Now he is considered a part of a continual criminal enterprise. As a bookkeeper or as an accountant, right, who has been creating false corporate structures, okay, helping persons of all kinds of repute hide money in Panamanian trust accounts, not being able to explain from being a $500,000 asset holder to then all of a sudden jump to $7 million. Not being able to explain an empty building down in Freeport, almost bigger than the whole airport. That's money laundering. Not being able to explain a similar building here, out at the airport, which Bahamas is using, that well, no one was using before that. That's money laundering. Not the fact that he dumped the owner of Regional Air Lines, right? Dumped the company and threw it into blackness. I mean, threw it into the total red after he did what he wanted to do, or use the accounts of Regional Air to do what he wanted to accomplish. The guy's a criminal, Clint. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the approach that you use, Clint Watson, that's the approach that you use. But if it was I, and I would have had all of the technical staff at my beck and call, what I would do is trivialize him by going through his whole record of pronouncements since he's been finance minister, and start off with a doozy. You remember the one where he said that the PLP took $42 million and they're going missing? That's the first thing to start off with. I would do, if I were you, Clint Watson, behind the headlines, if I were you, I would go ahead and get the research done of all of the things that he has said and the stupidity of them all. Right up to the last recent one being when they asked him about Jonathan Ash in this money situation, which I'm the first one who had it out there of the information in print. He said, what was the first thing that he said was, go ask Carl Bethel. Well, what Carl Bethel got to do with finance? He said, well, P bills. He ain't produced nothing yet to show that. So see, that is Clint Watson, how you all could have attacked it. If you wanted to attack him, he attacked you. The guy's an idiot, and he's not going to stop, so you continue to pound him. See, the only problem was you just didn't happen to have the information I have out of the United States about the grand jury. And I can afford to tell them that because if they go and check, they could be in more trouble. Because unless you have someone who's willing to tell you something, they'll tell you anything and then mark it down that you're curious or suspicious. So that was just my way of telling you, Clint Watson, how to handle this thing, man. That's all. If you felt that insulted by it, don't go name dropping all these names of the people that appeared on your show. Drop his name in the stupidity he did. See, I don't have to go into much conversation because guess why? Grand juries in the United States have 9-month expiry date or 18-month expiry date. If they don't get what they want in 9 months, that grand jury expires, they put another one in place, and they do it again. They continue until they get them. So Mr. Peter Turnquest, he can talk all the fool and trivialize all he wants. At some point, if they got something on him in the United States, he's going to get a chance to play plenty trivia, jail cell book for many years. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the appetizer. Now, let's get to the main course. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Black Belt, the voice. I am Gorman Bounce. I'm Gorman Bounce, and we're in Black Belt's kitchen, and we're having a pretty good meal tonight. Pretty good meal. For you all, for the righteous, I got some conch fritters for you. I got some turkey wings, belong to turkey wings. I got some mixed vegetable, and then I got some mashed potatoes. Then I got a little bagel on the side for you. Okay, that's for y'all. Okay? For y'all, the righteous. Y'all who I serve. Your captain, who serves you colonels, you generals. That's what I got for y'all. But for them other crew, I got this. What's not in the news? Now, ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, Minnis continues to find flimsy but creative ways to buy continued support from ministers and backbenchers. The latest announcement is his plan to take a backbencher with him on future trips for them to have leadership experience. He also claims that it's his way to secure the future of the Bahamas. Now, I would believe him to be sincere if he was taking Kunky Joe Nigger Brent's children, and maybe even their grandchildren, on trips. Or, as well as the Hollow Esco and Godfrey Kelly's grands, yes, I'd consider Minnis sincere about that. But not for us. What this is more like is like securing support and making others jealous of being left out and then wishing to fall in line. Likewise, there are some government officials that don't know how much money is involved when to travel, like the backbenchers, because they've never had to travel. There are handsome per diems, for government officials when they do travel. Now, I know it was once, I don't know if it still is, I would doubt if it would be less. If anything, it would be more. Knowing this scandalous criminal government, it may still be $10,000 per diem and a $250,000 credit card access to per diem. Upon return, though, the per diem doesn't have to be accounted for. Now, I'm not aware how much a backbencher would get, But whatever it is, the balance doesn't have to be returned. But then there's another faulty and phony aspect to this bright idea by Minnis. It's quite presumptuous to assume that TRIPS will prepare today's politician for tomorrow's politics, when the chances are very good that they will be flushed down the toilet with Minnis. And while he may, and I say only may, be able to float, if he can only maybe float, and if he can only maybe float, the backbencher don't stand a chance. So we are sad witnesses to the desperation of a man who sees no other life worth living other than to make a nation suffer for his loyalty to the Conky Joe nigger barbarians and his willingness to give them all just for someone to be able to say to him, yes, Prime Minister. And to think, he's only worth about 14 million, at least that's how he came in, who knows what he is now. Yeah, he's only worth 14 million. But he's not impressed by that at all. That's obviously not enough. That's obviously not enough to otherwise occupy his time. Ladies and gentlemen, when a person and his worth gets so wrapped up in this prestige that he makes movie stars, he puts credibility to pornographic buddies that hangs with him. You know, these pornographic guys, the guys that take showing the dick and getting ridden by some white nigger in the Atlantis hotel. You know, those are his friends. When he finds that to be more worth staying around for than to try and see if he could build another world with his own resources, then you know, the guy's capable of anything, like even being in one of those films like his movie star friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to another part of the main course. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're still here. Now, this is the 8 o'clock report. This is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. This is October the 4th, 2018, which makes it Thursday, and we are in Black Belt's kitchen, and we got a full meal going today. So, let's go ahead with what's not in the news. And on the subject of travel, since we were talking about Minnis taking backbenchers different places, on that it was, not too long ago, it was the budget and VAT over the summer. And while Minnis was on that traveling tour, he had one of his generals giving out crown land to area generals to disperse when the votes are needed. Now, this weekend, it's a report of what he did at the United Nations. One has to wonder what his general will be giving to area generals while he has the people listening to him on his no ask questions report. But I don't know, maybe because it's the UN, he'll allow questions, but only about the United Nations. Meanwhile, his general, I'm sure, will be distributing more crown land. But how would his United Nations report help the people of Andros today? Today on the ground. How will the United Nations help the family that has to cut back on food supplies because of the raise in VAT? How will what happen at the United Nations help the family that has yet to figure out how to supply extra school clothes because the help of social services is no longer available as it used to be? How does what happened at the United Nations, how will that find jobs for those in the family islands that are not in the family of islands, the islands that are not growing because the economy has been reduced? You see, the topic of Minnis' address at the United Nations was concerning climate control. See, government's control of the political climate has been in hurricane state. It's been a hurricane state. That's the kind of climate of this. The climate that this government has brought about is a hurricane climate. So while Vince decides to go on tour to get the crowds and the Family Islands that he didn't get while speaking at the United Nations, we need to decide to control the climate and call for it to change sooner rather than later. And that's just the fact of the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on again. Here we go. We still got boy. Here we go. I know you all who are eating them good cup fritters and that turkey wings that I cooked up for you with the mixed vegetables and the mashed potatoes. I know, and it's nice steam down the turkey wings. I know they big too, and not steroid, just naturally big. I know you all are enjoying your meal while you are listening to me feed them corruptors. I want to say cocksuckers, but I ain't gonna say that. Feed those corruptors, right? This hard core meal. Not no TV dinner either. Matter of fact, the only thing they're getting is like the aluminum that the TV. Remember the aluminum the TV dinner used to come in? Well, yeah. I'll take the TV dinner out and give them the aluminum to eat. So let's move on. I wonder. No, let's not move on yet. Not yet. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, okay. Here we go. Another part of the main course is Black Belt Royce. You're in Black Belt's kitchen. And it's what's not in the news. Now, I wonder if $300 Dwayne realizes that every time he opens his mouth in the public, the reaction is either disgust or shame. And that's the only two emotions that Bahamians will ever feel about $300 Dwayne Sands. Whatever his character value was, is gone forever. See, people don't respect a brazen liar and one who only tells half stories. You see, Sands has certainly got more than his $300 money's worth of disgrace. In the House of Assembly, I think it was yesterday, he spoke as the former Mortgage Corporation chairman, and he used figures to show that the reason for so many evictions is because of the PLP's bad management in 2002. So it was the trace of the money that has caused a failing corporation. And though the foundation he laid that it was bad judgment by the PLP to cause the money situation to reach the level that it did. Well, what was it when he gave Barbara Hanna a $1.8 million contract, where the scope of works was only $770,000? What was it when the Attorney General Carl Bethel gave an assessment that the contract should not be approved? And what was it when he chose to lie from the start to finish in the court of law? What was that, ladies and gentlemen? What would you call that? Would you call that bad judgment? I'd call it criminal judgment. I'd call it malcontent character default. I would call it that when that lemon was finally squeezed, what was in it came out. That's what I would call it. But let me ask you the call you would make if today or tomorrow you need some work down on your heart. What would be the judgment call that you would make if it had to be Dwayne Sands, or if Dwayne Sands was one of the persons? What kind of judgment call would you make? When we know that for $300, he would totally center circumvent a process where the safety is in the process, but he would circumvent it because somewhere along the line, he believes that if he got 300 from her, he could get part of that 1.1 million from her, or at least a positive $400,000 mobilization fee. What about that? What kind of judgment is that? Is that good judgment? I don't think so. But yet he gets up and he's trying to make the best of a situation, and as a result of it, he walks away from it momentarily pleased after having said what he said. But he can't run from his conscience, whatever part of it is left. Okay? But we also should not allow him to run from us. He has to be made to know that what he has done has totally showed his bad judgment. And I'm going to tell you why. In his behavior with the $1.8 million contract, not even talking about the fact that he's a bad business person, he can't manage anything. The hospital proves that because he believes it's his money. Okay, and as a result, he's squeezing it, and every time he squeezes it, a hole breaks out someplace else because it's not his money. So as a result, he doesn't realize that the object always is, if you could give someone a $1.8 million contract, why can't you give us something? If only the $300 she gave you, why don't you give him that? Dwayne Sands, you're talking about bad judgment. In fact, I will say that $300 Dwayne Sands, he don't have bad judgment. He don't have no judgment. Because the dilemma he finds himself in now is he has lost the respect of his colleagues and he's lost the trust of the public. What do you do then? What do you do? Where do you go to get that? Where do you go to retrieve those two things? You can't. So when you stand up, Dwayne Sands, your argument, your words ring hollow, and in effect, they don't even go in one ear and out the next. They don't even reach the ears of persons who knows what it is when a person exhibits bad or no character. Ladies and gentlemen, and your finale on your meal is coming up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit of paparazzi. Yes, in Black Belt's Kitchen, let's talk about a little bit of celebrity status. Yes, let's talk about is he or is he not? Yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk about putting question to. No, we don't want to say that. Let's talk about monkey put question to Omar. Monkey put question to Omar. So, ladies and gentlemen, by now you see all the pictures I get around this video going around too. Ladies and gentlemen, I have reason to believe that I know who is the one that distributed it, and I know that people are having their different conversations and saying, well, it don't look like him, it might not sound like him, it's probably not him, or whatever the case may be. Well, let me ask you one question. Who would go to the extent to put together something like that, low life, like Omar? I'll tell you who'll do it. Omar will do it for money. Exactly what you see going on in the video or in the still, Omar would do for money. Now, it might be just coincidental that it was Omar doing that for money. I can't see anyone putting together a video. I can't see anyone putting together stills that looks like him. Okay? I can't see anyone also going to the extent to decide to examine to see the pixels, to see if there's been any cropping. I mean, who wants to defend that it didn't happen? I can't see anybody going through that expense for Omar. The only one that would spend money on that would be the person who paid Omar. I keep trying to explain to you all that Omar is a sociopath, psychopath, psychotic human being. I told you all that when Omar worked at Coca-Cola, just before he closed, he went upstairs where the vault is, hid in one of the little office spaces or broom closet. Just so happens that one of the managers, who had locked up, thought everybody was gone, he left, but he came right back because there's something he had to do. He went upstairs. He heard rumbling in the closet. When he opened the door, there was Omar. No, he wasn't. He wasn't in the closet with his dick in his hand like on them pictures. He wasn't. I mean, not yet. Maybe if there's been some more time with him elapsed, he might have decided to do that to while away the time. I don't know. Maybe he may have. But he was right there, and amazing. He had that same little sheepish grin on his face that you see in that shit-eating grin. He had that same grin on his face as if he was playing hide and seek, and they found him. What was he doing in there? He said that he was waiting till everything cooled down. He was going to try to get in the vault, take the stuff, run across into Turnquest Avenue, Stapleton Gardens. That's where his mother lived, right? The Turnquest Avenue. You'll see an abandoned, burnt-out house. His mother lived right next to it. He was going to go there and stash the stuff. That's what he said the plan was. That's Omar. Now he's got Public Works, a whole big building to hide in. And then to vandalize it. But I suspect that the sociopath that he is, he will figure out a way to make this video, to make those pictures work for him. Even if he got to start spreading the rumor about that, it's Minutes who took the picture. Don't forget now, every time he walks up for Minutes, he's extorting Minutes, you know. Because a couple of weeks ago, forget now, maybe 3 weeks ago, he was talking about Minutes like a dog. Don't forget that. So I would expect to hear at any point that he'll decide if he could make some money, because by now he probably figured these pictures the video gone viral. Okay? So I would suspect that at some point he'll start saying that Minutes took the pictures of him. That's what he'll say. If you want to make the money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, if you are that doubtful, but you're that inquisitive, if you see the videos, and if you see the stills, in the left-hand corner, in the left-hand top corner, you will see a logo that says something 8, which means that appeared in a pornographic material type of internet thing. You could easily check to find out. You could ask for a copy of the film from the company if you really want to find out. Now, I have reason to believe that somewhere along the line, this is information that was always known and had, and some type of investigative person, police person, something like that, had it and decided to release it. So, Minutes, you defended him, bro. Now, he needs you now more than ever. He needs you now more than ever. Continue to defend him while the rest of the Bahamas looks on you and on him as two peas in a pod. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your 8 o'clock report. This has been Black Belt Kitchen. We had a full meal tonight. We had appetizer, full meal, dessert, okay? And then, of course, they'll choke as they always do, but they'll come back for more because they are criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your 8 o'clock report. This is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. This is October the 4th, 2018, Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening.